What do you like about carnival? Carnival. What do you admire about carnival? We festival. Well, there's some things I admire when them bacchanalies on fire. Laugh out on the road, people in skimpy clothes. Oh God, that's when I admire muscles and figures. I like it when they whining down, the way they twerk their big bottom. I think from creation, that is what tempted Adam. So don't worry with them if they say you vulgar, baby. Must you playing, baby? Must you playing? I like it when you cock up in the air. Must you playing? Must you playing? I'll enjoy it when you come a little closer. Wine on me, darling. I just love that feeling. That's what I like about carnival. That's what I like about carnival. That's what I like. That's what I like. That's what I like about carnival. Carnival, baby. Why? That's what I like. That's what I like now. Some things I admire.
Hello, 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 hello. What's up, Alex?
I'm just happy, Jael. I can't be happy then. Give me a break in my life now. I'm happy.
I like your shirt, Jack,
Oh, how you lose a shot, Jack?
because I can tell my dad used to wear these things, and it's very obvious.
Well, thank you. So are
You
you
don't have
saying
your headphones on, too. I see you giving me some feedback.
oh, you get the feedback, Jael boy? I come to a venue there and I forgot my headphone, boy, Jael boy. Because I'm not in my office today. I'm actually in the next location. So you,
You like to give me grief,
yeah. But
guys. Hi, Natasha.
women give men grief. So why can't I give you grief now?
It doesn't mean you're giving me fellows. There's listeners that hearing us echoing.
So it's bad.
Let us know how you guys feel about this. How are we sounding? Let us know. I can hear myself.
I'm
I can
hearing
hear
me.
myself echo.
You
I
echoing?
hear. I'm hearing myself echo. Let me know how you guys hearing on your end. And we will get this show on the road. Hope everybody's having a good day. Let me just shout out those books on the live one time. Natasha's on,
So you
Paula
could
is on.
you could probably pause me a minute so I could see if I can grab a headphone from somebody there if I can get one.
Sure,
Just
no problem. No problem. All right, we just want to big up all of you who are viewing. Alex is not echoing, but I am. Yes, I know I would be the one echoing because he would be picking me up from his monitors, from his laptop. So that's why I would echo. So he's gone to get his headphones, and we're gonna get this show on the road. Princess Nistati, thank you very much. There's a feedback. We're gonna try and get this fixed. Don't you worry. Um, DJ Kubuli, big up yourself. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Have you guys shared the live? Let me know if you shared the live. Make sure you hit the share button. Just hit the share button. That's all you have to do for me. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Want to big up the sponsors for making this event possible. Want to say special good day and good evening and good morning, whatever time of day it is, wherever you are. Want to big up GBA Enterprise, one of our sponsors. Want to also big up KFC. Thank you very much for your kind sponsorship. I want to also say thank you and special thank you to all the other sponsors, including Bloombox, who joined us over the last couple of weeks. Easy Barrel, SurePay. I want to say thank you very much to them for their support of this show. Left side, right side. Are you guys enjoying the carnival season? Today, we're going to offer you guys an opportunity to join us. If you want to join us on the broadcast, you can do so. Just let me know that you would like to join us. You'd like the opportunity to join us. Just make sure you have headphones and you can come and talk to us a little bit about, how you felt about the semi-final results, what you thought of it, who are you supporting that dropped off, or who is in the band that you're very happy about. So we're going to be having a discussion about that. Hi, Lisha. How are you guys doing? Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you share the live one time. Thank you very, very much. Let's see. Alex is trying to get his headphones organized. Everybody does think it's me because I'm the one that's echoing, but it's not me. It's my voice that's coming out through his thing, right? And that's why it's producing an echo. So hopefully he gets his headphone organized and we can get this show on the road. That's what I like about Carnival. That's what I like about Carnival. Hey, hey, that's what I like about Carnival. Carnival. Right in. Tickle it. Right side, Sa- sa- mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. This is one of my favorite calypsos for the season. How are you feeling about the songs? Who's your favorite calypsonian this season? We're going into the finals. So the finals is next week, Saturday, the 18th of February. I want to pick up the Dominican Calypso Association and all of the efforts in putting together a wonderful show the last couple of weeks. We've been enjoying the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and now we're going into the finals. And uh, they have definitely given us a show that a lot of us will remember, especially following a pandemic when we didn't have the what they call it the two round calypso. So last time we had calypso season, it was unfortunately just a one round because of it was done virtually. So we're getting ready to do the two round calypso. Alex couldn't find a headphone. Alex shaking his head. Alex couldn't find. Alex, you learn your lesson. You know what this is. You learn. You learn.
But yeah, I left in a hurry. So yeah, I'm so sorry, man. What you must do is when I'm speaking, just don't speak so you won't echo. So you will.
No, it's not. It's not that. It's when I speak, it comes through your monitor and then it echoes. So that's what causes the echo.
So can I mute myself off when you're
So when
speaking?
so when I'm speaking, you have to mute yourself.
Sure, we'll do that. Let's make it happen, man. I'm so sorry,
Let
JL.
It's okay. It's all right. So let's. Are you? Have you muted me now? Are you gonna mute me
Yes.
now?
Let me
Wait.
meet you. Yeah.
So you see, guys. You see, guys. Now he's muted me, and you're hearing me clear. And you're hearing me too, right, Alex? But every time you have to talk, Alex, you have to do like moo and put up your hands, and we have to do it like that. That's how it is. This time around. But thank you, guys. Thanks, Alex, for joining us today.
Mwen la, mwen pare ou saf.
All right. So we of course somebody says the Mighty D is who they're excited to hear, but I was disappointed about one of the Calypsonians who made the final list. You were disappointed. What you were disappointed in? Were you disappointed that they made it, or you disappointed on their performance, Kira? Kira, give us some more insight on that. Folks are commenting on the Calypso, and some of them are saying that well, one specifically saying that she was disappointed in one of the Calypsonians who made the final list. So I'm wondering if she was disappointed that they made it, or was she disappointed that in their performance and not expecting them to make it? I'm not sure what she means. But Alex, what did you feel about the semi-final?
Well, I think it was a real good show. Wonderful effort. I think more than wonderful. Um, and after the drought, it was nice to have real calypso on again. I think the show was of a decent enough quality. I had some issues at the beginning with the lateness, and there's a little disorganization with the MCing and certain things that was said by the MCs. I kind of cringed a bit.
What
One
is that?
partic-
Be specific.
Well, I kind of try to stay away from specifics when I make general comments. Like, I don't want to really hurt anybody. Bobo.
So it's a bobo then.
It can be if I drop it as I felt. But again, as an MC, as a fellow Calypsonians, you really cannot and should not criticize your peers publicly like that. Your fraternity, so to speak. So I'm wearing that hat as well of a member of the Calypso fraternity. Just
Mhm.
just that certain things that was done and said, I didn't really appreciate how it was handled. So, but that is that
Mhm.
in terms of the MCs.
So some folks are giving some feedback. So same Kira said she was disappointed that they made it. Elena is saying I thought Shadowflow would have made it. And also someone else is saying that it took too long for the results. The MC should not put their personal feelings when they're commentating. So that is one of the things that somebody is also saying on the live. I guess folks who were some people were at the show, some people were listening, and some people were viewing. Alex, you were viewing and the show, and I was actually listening. And we had various, I mean, we were more or less in agreement with a lot of the commentary that was going on the radio. Well, I listened to specifically DBS, and I want to comment Edgar and Cecil. You know, especially Edgar. Edgar, I feel gave like a real thorough analysis of what was going on stage. So for those of us who could not be there in person and or who was not viewing it, because you know I was multitasking, so I could not view it and listen. I had to pick one, and I decided to listen. And I think um, Edgar did a fair, commendable job on the night. How about you, Alan?
Well, I said so about Edgar in a social media kind of a dialogue or exchange that I had. That Edgar, I think, did a fair job, and he makes a great effort to be objective. He's not fully 100%, no one is. We all have our biases, and Edgar is entitled to his own bias, partisan, spiritual, whatever. But in terms of how he approaches his analysis of Calypso, I honestly think Edgar makes a credible effort to be objective, and I think he is fair. Again, as I said, you can't truly be balanced. Nothing, no, life is not a balance. You know, life is where you are, when you are, how you are. So, in that sense, I agree with you that Edgar had a really good night, a much better night than Cecil. I can say Cecil is biased. I can tell you that, and Cecil can deal with that. But Edgar, with his bias, tried his best to manage it. So, yeah, I can say that, and I agree.
Yes, I love the way that he was able to describe in from a literary standpoint or perspective some of what was going on within the components of the song, the writer, as well as what was going on stage and how it kind of translated. Because for me, listening, it kind of gave me a visual of what was going on. In a sense, it was very descriptive. So he was able, like even when he was speaking about Mighty D's song, you know, he started talking about personification and allegory and all of the different literary devices that were incorporated into the presentation, as well as the details of the components of the song. It was because I mean you study that and you just but hearing it, you know, come out in a calypso, and how he was able to explain, you know, how he used the dogs, the backing of the dogs to kind of personify people as well. So he used the dogs to kind of, it was pretty cool how he explained it. And if you didn't know anything about calypso, or how the different elements that can be brought into calypso, you were able to get a clearer understanding of that, at least from my perspective.
Yeah, and that is where Edgar is strong because Edgar is academic, but Edgar is also practical. Edgar has experience doing it, so he comes like in three. You know, he has the academic benefit, he is experienced, and he has practically been involved. And he speaks about this personification in that particular song. And if you look at the attitude too of the singer, probably those singers don't even know exactly how they do the things they do. But professionals looking at them can tell you that is exactly what I am seeing coming through them. And Mighty D and his act, I think he deserved his place in the finals. No one should question that. And he becomes the song. He becomes the song in many, many ways. And I mean, I see the man on stage, and there are certain times I think he's a big dog because he does it so well. And he has a chant that he does after the chorus, which makes me see him in the character that he's performing the song. And that I think is the magic of that wonderful little song. He's not the greatest singer, but boy, he handles that song well. Yeah.
Very, very well. And I think he deserved his spot in the top. And obviously during the show, folks are commenting on the live, so I'll go in and out between what we're saying and what is being commented on the live. But during the show, you're listening and you're saying, okay, that one in the bag and that one in the bag. I know, Alex, you don't make it a public, you don't publicly speak about your top or your favorite. You pretty much just comment on every and any. But I had my top, and I was right on the money. And I remember when I sent you my list, um I was torn between healer and shadow flow, but I had healer first. So I said either healer first or shadow flow. And I was like right on point with the nine in the bag.
Yeah, you were perfect. You got it all. You got online. I mean, in terms of our conversation, because you're my girl, my sister, my friend, my confidant. I shared my views as well with you, but I don't
Mhm.
publicly discuss because, again, of my position in the fraternity and the influence that I can have. So I just try not my best not to really see what I thought. And again, I have a lot of respect for the judges. There are people who don't
Yeah.
seem to understand the judges. The judges play a major role in Calypso. The judges are part of the product. So when we decally and criticize the judges, we are killing Calypso, not the judges, because these people are volunteers. They don't get paid for that. And if you don't judge the Calypso, the full Calypso is not complete. So there are singers, writers, managers, performers, judges. They are a component of the Calypso product.
Mhm.
And I think sometimes we go at them so hard. So I don't publish my list and I don't criticize the judges unduly. I said probably like in the semis, Observer got a rough deal. So things like that I could say. I say I felt it for Shadow. You know what I'm saying? I really felt that Shadow, I do not know what else he had to do, but the judges could only take 9. And you, JL, got all
Exactly.
the, you got all the 9. You got all the 9 right. It means that you are very sensible when it comes to a good calypso. And again, on the commentary that I made earlier, I commended the judges. I said they did a fabulous job. They were late, very late, very, very, very late, and that has to be corrected because I know Pembo had done a judging
Uh,
program.
that's what I thought. They have a card. They have what's it called? A template that they use.
Not just a template. Pembo had created a statistical system where you just input your information and within a second you get all the results and ranking order and king everything. I do not know whether Pembo had he retained the use of it, but while Pembo was judging as chief judge, we got the results within a minute after the show because everybody put their scores in and this Excel sheet just runs all the data and give you the placement right away. So I do not know whether they're doing that now. I guess they went back to the older days before Pembo when they were actually looking at numbers, adding numbers, discussing numbers. In Pembo's time, there was no discussion per se. The thing come up, everybody look at it. Guys, you're in agreement? That's what the computer gave us. Okay, yes. Okay, do you want to discuss something? No. And that was it. So I'm not too sure what happened. Probably the association should explain to us, but we shouldn't have to
Would
wait
you?
for. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, would you think probably that it is the fact that they've gone back or they don't have access to the original what's it called, software that was used, because that software is easily created. Anybody who has an understanding of Excel can create even a simpler version to what even I can do that, and I'm not even like an Excel major like some people out there. And so it's not a difficult thing to do, to kind of capture what your results are. They could even do it in the form of a Google form, like doing a Google form. Each of the judges have it on their phone. They add their stuff, and the Google form processes everything and puts everything together, and you see the results right away. I mean, there's so many ways you can capture the results in a very short space of time, rather, because we were waiting for quite some time. We were back and forth talking, you and myself, and just kind of sharing ideas. And I was just like, why is it taking them so long? Like, why is it so long?
It was over an hour, and but again, head at again, JL. With anybody can do the Google, Excel, whatever. But Pembo, from his background as a musician and from his experience judging the calypso for so long, I think he had created a sort of. I'm not too sure, but I don't know if it's more special than anybody else's. but it was just so right. He had put in certain equations to cancel out certain things, and I think there was an issue with money, where it's either he should have been paid or whether he was not being paid. But that to retain that program, I think the association had to have paid Pembo some money. I do not know whether that was a fallout, or I don't know whether they're using it. But I would have paid Pembo maybe $10,000 or whatever it is. Because Pembo has worked there for so long as a Calypso judge. And that system worked for us for all the years that I have been emceeing Calypsos. I mean, before the show ends, we have the results, Then we do all little guest performances, and in 10 minutes time, we drop our result. We can't go back in time. If we're moving forward, we have to move forward. So it's either another Pembo emerge to create another judging thing, or we go to Pembo and say, Pembo, how are we using the thing? Again, I do not know what's happening now and what happened on the night. But that wasn't good. It was unacceptable for us to have waited so long for the results in a modern era
Yeah,
like that.
I definitely agree with you on that. I think the results took too long, and I'm hoping that for the finals, because the finals is going to be a much longer show, so people are going to be there for a long, because they're going to be people. They're going to be doing two songs. Hopefully they start on time, because that is another thing. Was is starting on time. I cannot say I've produced many shows in Dominica or anything, but I have been part of a few shows, and time. I'm a stickler when it comes to time, and when I log on, and if you're not on, like I get distracted by other things. But not only that, I kind of lose trust in what you're presenting, and that for the level at which I feel our calypso is in the our calypsos are a very high standard. I mean, and granted, people have said a lot of things. We've had all the different controversies that have emerged over the season, but I think the standard is very, very high in terms of the quality that comes out. I mean, we don't even have a lot of like the walk socks and the you think like we normally have had in the past. I'm not saying that the quality of that was different. It's just that I find that people have put out a lot of great content in their calypsos, and to know that they're coming to perform and the show is starting so much later, you kind of lose trust in the establishment, in the entire fraternity, so to speak. You kind of lose trust and wonder what's going on.
And that's a good point. And I'm happy you said it in terms of losing trust in the organization when they do not start on time. Jail, that is the biggest issue I have with Calypso right now. And that I can say publicly because I've shared that with the members of the executive. That never, not for one moment in the many years that I was part of the administration of Calypso and the host of Calypso, almost quarter century, that we ever started a show late. Never. Because we counted down to the start of the show the night before. And people would be on the grounds early morning. I would come there as the MC of the show 2 hours before the show and make sure that I find where Peter is. I find all the bandsmen and say, fellas, the show is 8 o'clock, remember? If at 7 o'clock I haven't seen Peter, I say, Peter, where are you? Make Maliwe, may he rest well, would never have technical problems just before his show starts. He would tell the producers or the providers of the system, hey, partner, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. So I think that is a major faux pas. That dropped from our punctuality record, which was 100%, now to 100% late, not just by 5 minutes, by an hour plus. No, man, unacceptable. So yes, and that is a worrying point for me. And if they can start on time this finals and next year start on time and two frays after that start on time, I think the trust will be regained. But for now, the Calypso Association's quality of the product because of the tardiness is a bit suffering. And I really, really lament that as a member of the fraternity. So that I can say JL. But other things like the quality, the songs, the writers, the views, what the judges did and those things, no, that's a no-go area for me.
Well, to be honest, it doesn't just affect the viewers and the listeners of and other lovers of calypso. It also affects the calypsonians, because even Shanice mentioned, after the quarterfinals, when she came on the show, Alex, that was the day that you weren't able to make it. But one of the things she said is that she was so tired and she was falling asleep backstage. And it was after one when she performed, and she was expecting to perform so much earlier, right? And bearing in mind that a lot of the Calypsonians, though they tend to take time off from their work on performance night, but they have a lot of other things going on in their lives, right? And plus age is also a factor, because the older you get, the more the bed does be calling your name. So if you think, okay, by 9 o'clock I will sing, and I can probably stay and jam or decide to leave depending on the vibe, but you're there for so much longer, it kind of puts a damper on you and your performance and what you are able to deliver when it's your turn to perform. And Shanice was right out, and she said, she was sleepy, by the time it came, and she was not really putting any blame on anybody at that time. She just said, well, it was late by the time she came to perform, and she was tired, and I guess too, we women, when we trying to get our act together for a performance, whether it's MC, whether it's sing, there's other things that have to happen during the course of the day. Maybe we have to get our nails done, or hair did, pick up our clothes, and running around that you have to do, and to know that you have to wait so much longer to perform. I think, out of respect, not just to us as the viewers and the listeners, but also to the performers, that they execute the time that is allotted for Calypso to start, and start on time. So I'm hoping to see that happen on February 18th, that there's an improvement in that.
And not just um, preparing to start, but when you psych yourself up, you say, I'm singing number 5. The show starts at 8. So by 9 o'clock, I might be on stage. So you already psychologically psych yourself. And then when that 9 o'clock hits and the show hasn't started as yet, that is already having a psychological effect on you. So not just the basic preparation, but the psychological mindset sometimes wanes, and it can impact your performance. And I don't think that there is anybody from the executive who would be against what we're saying, because it's not like we are blasting. We're just saying,
No.
we're speaking about the fallout from starting late, especially the lack of trust and confidence in the organization for developing a show on time. I tell you this at the time, JL, Dice was singing number 1 or number 2? I think number 2. And we were having the finals at the Pottersville Savannah. Dice singing number 2, the show starting at 8 o'clock. Or 8:30. So at 8:25, me and Val read. Yeah, 8:30 we come. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Calypso finals for 2020, whatever it was. National anthem, band play that. Band stop. You see, first guest performer, the junior monarch, Mr. Singh, pam, 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 pam. Then I think we had Dino or somebody. After that is the competition. So while Dino was done, Man himself was the first singer. Man himself singing. And while Man himself singing, boy, we hear a kind of ruckus out there by the front gate, by the church. A mob of people, of thousands of people, just rush and break the door, because it's a stampede happened outside, whereby they thought that they were going to miss Dice, because we started on time. Man himself finishing, so it's not Dice next now. And Dice at that time was, and even now too, Dice is a force to be reckoned with. So people got so irate, or so whatever it is, that they pushed so hard and they burst the gate. The gate was compromised that year. I don't know if you remember, Calypso had to stop, for them to reinforce the gate and get police and get containers from the port and so on. People did not as yet get used to us starting on time, so they came late. And after that event, no one who wanted to see Calypso delayed. And in fact, when we started, there was always a full crowd. Now I see Calypso starting, and 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, 10 people, then you get a crowd at the end. But when a Calypso finals was starting at 8:30, JL, at 8:20, 8 o'clock, the place ram already. Because over a decade, we had established a protocol where we start on time every time. So that's one of the issues. Again, I just use that as an example to show you how you can establish and how you can break down what you established.
Yes, and I to those of you who are viewing, would like to get your feedback. What did you guys think? And those of you who are viewing, or if you attended the show, if you were there in person, about because sometimes, be, as Alex rightfully said, people have gotten accustomed to the fact that Calypso starts on time, and people would have obviously also come out early, in your pink pilling, your nice dandan, you saving up whole more to wear the outfit, and you came out hoping to start on time, and it was delayed by almost an hour. um what was your feedback? Share with us, let us know how you felt about the late start. I know for those of us who are outside in the diaspora, like they like to call us, the diasporans, we were listening, and I don't consider myself a diasporan because more plain Dominic Kimun Dominic. um but let us know what you guys felt, how you guys felt about the late start, or even the judges, or judging, or whatever else, you probably liked or loved, or wasn't too crazy about. Just share with us. We'd like to get your feedback. This is what this show is about. It's about discussing what transpired, or to date, Calypso to date, to the semifinals and beyond, and what we expect, or what we're looking forward to for next week, because next week is the big show. I know a lot of other shows are also conflicting with that show, and that has been a conversation that has come about a few times when other events have actually like been staged on the same night of Calypso. And I want to quote my partner Riceman, one of I guess a big diehard Calypso fan, and also a journalist in Dominica, mentioning that he does not feel it's not acceptable to have another show on the same night as Calypso, because it is our local product. But some of us beg to differ. And we'd like to know, what are your views? What do you think? What do you feel about that? Coming in the comments. Correct. Natasha is saying that it's like the Speaker of the House being neutral. So somebody was commenting about the MCs, and they're not putting their personal feelings into the. Let me just get the actual comment on that. So responding to, the MCs should not put their personal feelings when they are commentating. So what do you have to say about that, Alex?
Well, but the person is right. The person is 100% right. You are supposed to be a neutral arbiter. Your job as an MC is to keep the show tight, to keep the entertainment going, to treat everyone the same. It's a science, Jail. Sometimes we get carried away, but it's a science. And the commenter is 100% right. Like after a song, a big song drop, you can't be seen to be so excited and showing more excitement to that one person on that big song, and another song played before you was not equally excited. So yes, you can have a hype because you are somebody too, but you have to still hold it down in a kind of a way. And then do not make any reference to the person's song and how the person look and what they say after that, because you are giving more points to the person. So yes, a big song drop, ladies and gentlemen. That was the number 5 Calypsonian with his song entitled "Dan Dan 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 Dan." Do you like Calypso? Yay! Finish. But when you comment on the performance and you say that person that person not easy and other things like that, that is creating a bias. And yes, the person is right. So Alex, if you look at me and the way I judge, I'm sorry, MC shows for the past 25 years, you never see me doing that. Yeah, I'll make a little joke. I might tell you, boy, all you don't remember that thing called penis and how that thing, but I will not say, God, so you come from New York with penis all over you. It's different. You can use the same scandal for a laugh instead of using it for a laugh and insulting somebody, even if they might take it in as a joke. But not every joke is a joke. Some jokes just choke. So you are very mindful as an MC how you craft your stuff. Like sometimes, right? And again, quick point before I stop. Like again, Dice. Dice is by all means, by all account, a fabulous calypsonian, a very big stage performer, and he has a sort of charisma on stage. When Dice sings and I'm emceeing and Dice drops his song, I my job as an MC is to calm the waters before I call the next calypsonian. Because if after Dice and the energy that he leaves, because he comes with an energy, Jay, I can tell you, he comes with an energy. That energy that he leaves behind can defonce a calypsonian if you come right next to him. So your job as an MC, and Val and me, we do that well. Major too has been trained to do it. You calm the waters. You bring people back to a sort of neutral point before you say call Checo or Black Star or anybody else. It will just not be fair to put somebody in that turbulent waters right after him. And if you do not know it, I have seen MCs do it, and those people suffer when it happens that way. So the person is right. An MC is supposed to be neutral, supposed to be a judge, not just a speaker of the house, not because the speaker of the house is a political person, but you're supposed to be neutral with your excitement. And of course, if a big song is big and big and big, it's big for everybody, for the MC too. But you cannot let your bias be seen so much when you're doing this kind of a work.
But you would think that because my assumption is that the people who MC for Calypso are well seasoned in MCing Calypso. I don't even recall someone, and if it's not necessarily, I know Maja is not as been there for as long as people like Peter Prosper and even Young Bull and even you, Alex. Like when I recall Calypso MCs, I remember wanting to be an MC like Calypso MCs, because that's kind of specifically you and Young Bull at some point, these were people that I kind of like, damn, I want to be like the lady boss of these people, and somebody's commenting you, Sabina is saying Alex was a magnificent Calypso MC. So she's commenting on you, but essentially I kind of looked to that style of emceeing and not necessarily showing extra. I'm not trying to single out anybody, but you have to try your utmost best to not, because just your reaction or your response to a song, whether it's a good one or a bad one, it can set the tone for the next person that comes on, whether it's a good reaction or a bad reaction, right? And whether you for that person or you're not for that person, you almost have to take, like you rightfully say, the dice high and put you back on a neutral. Everybody get the crowd back to a neutral, or the low that you might have gotten from the last song and get them back to a neutral to bring it up a bit, so you have to kind of know how to gauge your thing. And as much as I cannot say I was trained to being an MC, but in addition to following after the crafts of the greats that I consider the greats, I do a lot of research in terms of how to carry yourself, what to say on stage, and all of these things. So it was very surprising, on the night, to kind of, because it does not only influence the calypsonians, it also influences the judges.
But that is the main person it influences, is the judges. The MC carries a lot of weight on a stage. An MC can make or break a show, especially at Kaiser Finals. You really must understand the product that you're presenting, and you have to come ready. You see my partner Val, Bull understands. He's strong and he's brave. I am brave too, but Val has a tongue on him, which he does a lot with, and so I neutralize him. Sometimes when we go back to his partner, you drop that hard, boy, we can fix that. So we go and we do what we have to do. So it's nice. It's a pleasure working with him. But when you have him and other people who are probably not on the same high, you have a miscommunication. And I think we had some miscommunication the last time, and I know it's going to be better the next time. Again, who am I to question the prowess of the great Bull? And Maja, who is my student, I have been doing lots of work with her. Whenever I see something, I tell Maja, look, I call her Star. I say, Star, here's how you're gonna do that. And Star doesn't give me any chicken. Is yes, 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 or yes. Star doesn't tell me no. So she's coming up. But they sometimes throw people with her who are not acquainted with what it is that we're doing, and they sometimes put a little damper on things. As I said before, I hit the big stage. I was observing BABA for many years. I was observing Harrigan for many years before I got to do the show. But now anybody can just jump on a show now and do a Kaiso quarterfinals, a Kaiso semifinals, and herein lies the problem. And again, that is something that I've explained to the Calypso Association. They understand, but we have a shortage of MC talent, and I guess we have to try our best with what we have. One of the things I would like is if I can really make the time to offer an off-season MCing crash course, a master course. Val and myself, maybe get Franklin Moses and so on, and just do a master course, how you embrace the stage, how you attack the song, how you treat the Calypsonians. And there is a thing that happens when you exchange the mic with the singers. Hurricane and Hunter, Scrunter, each guy take the mic from you in a different way. And Jael, there's a reverence that goes with exchanging the mic. Hurricane actually receive your hands and hold your hands and take the mic from you. Scrunter tips it. Hunter gives you a bow. I'm telling you, it's an amazing thing that happens between you and the singer when they're taking the mic from the singer. Sparrow himself, I mean, he's another thing. He just feels you. He looks at you, and he makes eye contact with you. It's like he's taking strength or whatever. So it's an amazing connection, Jael, that takes place before anybody takes the mic from you. DBS too has his own routine. Daddy Chess, Tasha P literally bows as well when she takes the mic. So I can give you the characteristic of every singer who has ever taken the mic from me and how they treat the mic when they get that mic. So you have to know those things, feel those things as an MC. You can't turn your back on a person when you give them the mic. You have to make that thing happen. Shadow would never take a mic from you. Shadow, you must put the mic down for him. Shadow doesn't want to see you when you're giving him his mic. Put the mic on a stand and leave, and then he comes to the stage. He would never, it's like you're giving Shadow the mic, he's just standing still as a statue. It's like they wange him. So yes, there's a chemistry, and I would like to teach that, Jael, to pass it on, because as you say, I'm not MC in those days, and eventually I might not even be willing to teach. So for now, I am asking people who are willing.
But what I'm going to suggest, I want to make a suggestion, because we're in 2023, where things do not have to happen on your time or on other people's time. You can do a class, a virtual class, and record it. And offer it to the association as a training toolkit that the MCs can go through. So whether you put four categories and you record it like you're talking to them, just like how me and you talking now, you can use the same platform I'm on because it allows you to record and you bring in all your different elements. We're in 2023. Like we don't need to be on island. We don't need to be present. We don't need to be. It could be something that is offered because I know you are part of the fraternity, and you may choose to do it as a complimentary, or I want them to buy it from you, whichever is it is, or whatever you decide, and you can record it. And I think it should be something that is mandatory that the association allows for their MCs to go through leading up to. So leading up to Calypso season, because they would have decided, I guess, before the eliminations, who would be the MCs for the next four, because it's 4 eliminations, quarters, semis, finals, and based on that, have them do the course, and it doesn't have to be long. It could be half an hour for each segment, for 4 segments, 2 hours, if you really want to MC. And I mean, I'm sure you're getting paid, so you should actually be part of what you, and anybody who wants to be good at their job. Like, people think, even like when I MC for Curl Festival, people think I just come there with my mic. Like, I take so many things into consideration, and I've spoken to like Marva about this, and so many things, down to my outfit, down to what I wear. I make sure that my pockets are deep so that I can drop my mic in there, so we're not, and that's why my mic always sounds better than everybody else's mic because I come in early, do my song check, I put my mic in my pocket every time,
right? And the DJs and them always want to use my mic because they're like, Jill, your mic sounding sweet. I'm like, yeah, because I check my mic before and I make sure they, when not only do they mark all the mics, but I make sure I know which one is mine, and my pockets are deep enough that I can drop it in there and I can turn it off, go anywhere I want. When I come back, you know, my mic is with me. I take that into consideration. So it's not just my outfit, my you know, what I do, my research. You put together slide decks, you know, with details on the artist, because sometimes you get tired and you forget about certain things, and you may want to talk about something that is historic to the event or to the person performing. So you do your little research and stuff. So that should be all part and parcel of what you get paid to do on the night out.
The preparation, and you were right. I mean, you could probably do the master course as well in terms of teaching it, facilitating it. You ought to be prayer, you ought to do your homework. And I learned the hard way because I was not always the MC who understood the product and craft. I made a lot of blunders along the way. There was a time I said something to a fellow on the mic. I should have never said that. He almost killed me. Hunter saved me. I called him on a name on the mic because I thought because I have power, I have a mic, I can say anything. Not everything you can say on a mic. And there was a time too I came, I had gotten some glittering silver to make an outfit for the finals. And when I came to the show, having not done my homework before, that was when I was a rookie, the stage was decked in glittering silver. So I just disappeared when I came on the stage. And they say, Bon boy, Pawol used the same thing to make his clothes, man. What kind of thing is that now? And it was so awkward. I felt bad and I'd spent so much money on my clothing. And I just got lost in the background. So you're right. You go the day before, you see what the decor is, and you get clothing that complements. The other thing, we change many times. So Val and me would change maybe 8, 9 times a night. And that also adds, because for every song, they expect us to come with a theme to match with the song. So MCing is not just coming there, putting the same clothes that they see you with the afternoon and you're on the stage with it. I never wear a clothes to MC that people saw me wearing before I MC. You see me with the first time on that night with that clothes, and not just one clothes, several changes. So I use a black pant, I do 3 changes with that pants, then I use a jeans, I use 2 changes with it, then I come in for white pants, I do 2 or 3 changes, and that is the technique. So I keep the same pant on, and I just change my top, a hat, a jacket, and that is how we do it. So, and then the issue of the mic too and the check. MCs must do their song check just as the musicians. So I would come and spend 20 minutes, make sure I'm hearing myself properly, go around. And my mic always was my mic. I never gave up my mic on the night. So you're right. That is pretty much. You have a jail. I think you can do that course as well.
We asked a question before we moved. We were speaking about, you know, the MC of the show. We asked a question, which I pinned in the chat, and people were commenting to. Do you think there should be only one show on Calypso Finals night? Alex, what is some folks are saying yes. So Glenda Schillenford is saying yes, there should be only one show. Janice Sharp is saying yes. Kira is saying yes. Like a few people on there are saying yes, that there should be only one show and no other shows should conflict on that night of Calypso Finals. What are your thoughts, Alex?
Well, here, listen to my thoughts, which might surprise some people, right? I think any show can be held at any time. So if somebody wants to do a show on the night of the finals, fine. That is okay. It's fair game. You really cannot control what people do, and you shouldn't, as a government or any group, try to control it. Whether the government should have an event on a cultural night like that, probably not. But a private citizen, why not? The problem, though, is again, it might sound as if I'm doing the things that I didn't like people to do. Like when I was younger, I didn't like older people to say, when it was my time, I did that. But I'm going to do it because I think I now see the wisdom in what the older folks said. Jael, when I was in Calypso as an administrator and as an MC, there is no way any promoter producer would be crazy enough, foolish or mad enough to put a show on the same night of the Calypso Finals, because that would flop. People would not go to it because Calypso was hitting so hard. Calypso's ticket was the hottest and still is the hottest ticket. But people did not want to hear anything else on a Saturday night before Carnival but Calypso. Even if they want to go to a cooler fete, Come on the next night. Even if they put it, they would not go to it. And I think a lot has to do with the politics, partisanship, the sort of quality of the shows, especially the tardiness of certain shows, and the general fervor that goes around Calypso. So yes, people can do show, but there is no way in my time actively involved in Calypso that any producer was foolish enough to plan a show on that night because that show would flop, especially in Roseau. You can have a show in Marigot, maybe a little backyard party, but not a big show, a national show on the night of Calypso. And that speaks about the level of not just the Calypso, no, of where we are today. Where we are today in Dominica. No, that's unheard of. So I even told my partner that the other day, trendsetter, but how comes you have a show on the same night of your show? He said, boy, Alex, why? Things change. I say, well, I'm in Dominica every day. We can do better, my partner. We cannot have people competing against Calypso. Let's flop them. So yes, I agree, but it shouldn't be. Calypso should be so strong and so demanding and so well entrenched that on the night of Calypso, nobody should want to do a big show. Similar to the Creole Fest. Nobody will do a big show on Creole Fest night. They might do like a side thing or whatever, but a big show, like a competition, like nah, no. So we have to fix the product, and we have to get Kaiso back to where it is. Kaiso should make at least $500,000 on the Kaiso finals. I'm not sure we're close to that now.
I share very different slash similar views. I'll tell you in a little bit what my views are. We gotta pay the bills, a word from our sponsors, and all right. So I'm trying to get the music back in there so we can continue with this discussion because like I was saying, I share a different view, um, somewhat of a different view. I want to big up our sponsors. Thank you very much for allowing us to continue this work and be able to bring discussions on Calypso Uncensored, as well as guests. So it comes in different forms, right? So as it relates to my personal opinion as to whether or not I believe that Calypso Finals Calypso is a national event. That I'm of the view that it is a national event and that it should take precedence over everything else that's going on. However, we live in a democracy where people are allowed to, the private, like you rightfully said, private people want to have a show. I believe it's within their right to have a show. The problem with things right now as it is that a lot of folks have now gravitated away from Calypso, especially since we're trying to strengthen the art form so that it has longevity, especially with the I call them the alpha Gen Zs that are coming up, right? Who will probably not have an appreciation for the art form. So that is where I feel like the conflict will come, because people have slowly are slowly feeling like, I'm not interested in Calypso anymore, and that's not my thing anymore, and they're moving to it. Additionally, we also have to take into consideration that our carnival is a tourism product, And yes, we love our Calypso, but not everybody who will visit Dominica will want to come and listen to Calypso or will have the same appreciation for Calypso as we would. So some people would want to come, you come in Friday night, you want to come for your Romania party, you want to come and see one. You don't want to come and sit down and hear people talk about what the government has been not doing or not doing, because you don't really care about that. You probably don't even know anything about it because you're probably not even from Dominica, and you just want to have a good time and enjoy your carnival season. So that's really my view on.
It is not different from what I said, it is pretty much the same thing. I think somehow, again, there are many other competing things there, because with time, things change. So people's taste too for entertainment have changed. And another thing, again, JL, is that the Calypso fans are getting older, and new people or younger people are not necessarily getting into the fray. So again, the Calypso has to do a lot of work to attract new people, new Calypsonians, so that new people will come. I know when Dice and Tasha and them came, a lot of people came with them. Right now, we need a new crop of people to come, and Calypso will attract eventually a new crop of people. So the people are getting older, the fans are getting older, cannot stand up for as long as they would, and they prefer probably to go where they can sit and enjoy the entertainment, or stay home and watch it live. Maybe I hope they're doing so, because that's another area where the Calypso could make revenue as well, from the live. But the live must be reliable and accessible at all times. That has been a little issue sometimes when some live platforms did not really give you the quality. Again, and not just that, but we see America get talent, and we see the Trinidad Calypso finals with the different angles and the lights and the production. At our shows, is the finals being so produced so somebody could pay $20 and with no buffering and just relax and enjoy that. So a lot of dynamics have changed, and then a lot of Dominicans have migrated, a lot of Kaiser fans have migrated. We have to find them wherever they are, in England, New York, anywhere, so, and let them patronize to the Calypso. So while we're not making a lot of money because there's other fets happening, we're still making money online. So I hope that the Calypso is making money online, and if not, it's doing what it has to do, because things have turned around, and people's tastes are changing. The other thing that Calypso should do, probably to get people, is to change the mode of the show. The show is okay, but the patronage, so everybody should be allowed to sit. There should not be priority seating or VIP. Everybody should get to sit, and you could have premium sitting, but sitting should be a standard in Calypso show now.
Yeah, and you should have a party stand.
Yes, have a party stand where you're in the front somewhere, you use free rum, free food. Free beverages.
All inclusive, where you party.
All inclusive, and then you have everybody else sitting. So Calypso now should go to that. And
but we don't. Where would we put that though? We don't have them kind of venues in Dominica.
Calypso should make its venue. Calypso has a house, right?
Yeah, but we don't have them kind of venues.
Calypso should create its venue, or get a venue that
but
can
Calypso happens once a year. It's like you have to, if you're gonna think of this, you're gonna think of. I mean, the amount of times that your Calypso should really happen.
The venue is not only used by Calypso. The venue can be used by all and sundry, because we need a venue like that in Dominica.
We do.
So Calypso should invest in a venue. I remember, again, I had been around for so long, when an investor came to us as the association and said, fellas, I have land somewhere, that place is not developed as yet. I can see the vision where you, Calypso, can build your own stadium, your own venue, and the government would rent it from you for Carnival. And that was before stadium. And the man, because of, again, where he was and who was administering the Calypso, the politics didn't align, and Mr. said, oh, whatever, Mr. But I think, in hindsight, it would have been nice if we had done that venue and used that same venue to build our house that we built in Bath Estate. So, and the person said that, because the person said, I heard, I shouldn't be saying that publicly now. Anyway, the person said, I heard you're thinking of building, buy my property, build a venue along with your building, let the government of Dominica rent from you. You will have the best venue, and you'll have 2 in 1. I think we dismissed the developer to our detriment, because now we have the house. It's a nice house, but it's not, we don't have a venue, and we have to be paying monies to the government for the venue. A lot of money, If you knew, Jael, how much money we pay for, well, in my time, in terms of VAT and the use of the facility. It's a lot of money. If we had invested that in the venue, I think right now the government would be speaking to us, because the government needs place. The stadium cannot, at the forecourt there, well, I guess it's hosting Calypso now. When Calypso was Calypso, you couldn't host the finals there. And even you can't do events on the ground. Even the World Creel Music Festival we have on the grounds of the sports stadium is not the most ideal thing. So if we had done our venue in that area, well, right now the land has been sold and for whatever other uses, so we can't get it anymore. But looking back 20 years, I think we kind of could have done differently. We could have had those two projects, the venue and the Calypso House, in one. And it's not too late to look for a venue, not too late to speak to people, and to probably try and develop a venue. Calypso is a huge entity. With the right administration, I think Calypso can invest in monies and get a venue going.
We can sit here and we can talk for hours, Alex. Like, you would think that we needed a guest because there's so much. I guess we are pregnant with issues. There's so much to talk about as it relates to Calypso. I use Matt line. I use my friend Matt. Pregnant with issues. The country is pregnant with issues. But we, we have to wrap up at some point today, and I want to say thanks to every single one of you who came on and you've shared the live and you've commented and you've interacted. This is not the usual setting. We normally like to bring in one of the Calypsonians. In there, I had spoken to somebody, but they could not make it towards the last up to the time, so we had to pivot and bring to you a different type of content or different type of structure today for the show. But we really appreciated that you stuck with us, you shared the live, you've commented, you've interacted, and we hope that next week we can bring you some second songs, a few of the second songs who are making it, including people like JD. Let's say JD song. I have JD song,
The jamming, so long you've been wishing, and you wondering so long. The time has come. 2 years without a carnival. I know you missed me like I missed you all.
What do you think about it, Alex? What do you think about this one? I hear you. I unmute you. You put I unmute you.
Are we live?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so I can give you my opinion. I don't want to, because people might say, "Oh, Pawol say on that one and he didn't say that." My Malay already.
You're gonna have Malay regardless, so just say.
The king is defending. I think he's presented material, and knowing him, how he commands his own work on stage, I can expect him to really put up a great defense of his crown. So I wish him well. I really do wish him well.
What is mine, JD. Big up to JD and the rest of the Calypsonians. I'm looking forward. Dice's song got leaked, I heard, right before the semifinals. That was interesting.
It got leaked or it was leaked? Which one? Well, I was confronted with the issue, not because I was part of it, but from different sides. And I don't think the right term is it got leaked. I think the right term is it was leaked.
Was leaked, okay.
Yeah, not
because sometimes you share the song with somebody
in confidence. Because I recall that happened one year. Someone was sharing confidence with someone and it just ended up going out before they really wanted it. They were ready for it. So I wasn't sure if that was the scenario or if it was like, you know what, that's on hot, let's put it out. I lick with ass.
I think again I don't want to speak to create any controversy because it's easy to start a controversy in Kaiso, you know. Especially when you talk about people like Dice and the King and other people like that. It's easy in a jail. Before you know it, we could say something, you know, the controversy started with Alex and Jael, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So no, but my understanding of things is I think it's just is the handling of the song and where the song was placed and at the time. But I think that has been rectified and I think people have received Dice song. Dice has a nice song too, eh? That song, that Chichi song is a very provocative song. For one thing, I mean, Dice is relentless with his commentaries of Calypsos, and his target is very obvious. Who he targets in the song. So again, that Dice did not disappoint those who are very excited about his Calypsos, which many people are. But Dice is just fantastic, but not everybody likes his songs because of the politics that we have in Dominica. But he doesn't fail those people who like him for what his songs. Jael, he has really do the songs well. He's an executioner. That's what I call him when it comes to those kind of a songs. So I wish him, I wish JD, I wish Mighty D, I wish Thriller G.
Yes. Thriller on the night. Is that the line?
Well. Let's call all the 9 names.
I'm happy. I'm very, very happy that we have a few new folks. Not new. Well, actually, we do it. Shanice and Trilogy.
Shanice is new. Trilogy is new. Yes. Brand new.
So,
Mighty D had been around.
But not at the finals.
Oh no, that's his first final.
So we have Dice, Bob, Shanice, Tasha P, Black Diamond, Trilogy, Daddy Chat, Mighty D, Keela, and the King.
JD. Well, you call 9.
Oh.
You call 10? Alright, good. Let's not omit any name.
Let me run it
again.
Healer, Mighty D, Daddy Chess, Trilogy, Black Diamond, Passion, Shanice, Bob, Dice, and
JD.
Yes.
So we wish all of them well.
Yes.
We don't want to give any unfair advantage to any. And I'm happy you mentioned.
I can, because I'm not a judge, neither am I. I'm not a judge, I'm not a commentator, and I'm not an MC.
And you have your free speech.
Exactly.
So you can do that.
Exactly. But I am definitely rooting for Trilogy. I'm rooting like I don't know why. I'm rooting for Trilogy, rooting for Shanice, I'm rooting for Black Diamond, I'm rooting for Healer. Like every Trilogy.
So where's Trilogy second song now? Why you not playing it first now?
We're not playing it yet. You'll get it on the night.
Is that breaking news?
That they going to like.
Is that breaking news, Jael? Are you saying that
you will get it on the night? You're not getting it anywhere else.
Come on, Jael, dropping on me there, boy, Jael.
You'll get it on the night.
To be continued. We have to talk about that next week.
To be continued. Right? You'll get it on the night. All of you wait for it on the night. You're not gonna hear it nowhere else.
You speaking as if you know something, Jael.
Yeah. I like a servant and I know people that know people.
Why? I feel hot.
Let me tell you, Trilogy is an amazing composer.
Yeah, he has some value. That man has some value. He has some tremendous value. And Calypso is better for him being involved. I mean, he's a Bouillon man. And when he was here last, I told him, and I explained to him how Bouillon actually came from Calypso. And you could feel how he accepted it because he felt Bouillon was just so far off. And I had to show him the connection that Bouillon...
It almost had to... Like it validated his existence in Calypso. It's like
exactly.
Yes, there's a reason why I'm doing this.
Exactly.
Right? And you see, I feel that his strength as a composer is better well served in a Calypso.
I think so because he's so very well organized with his lyrics and very responsible and conscious.
Yeah.
I don't say that Cat and Booyah doesn't have conscious lyrics because
No, I mean, we love Abuya, don't get me wrong. I
Rai
love
used
my
to
girl.
Rai used to
Even
write.
hashtag nasty business, I'm enjoying it. Like, some of y'all might beg first.
Again, that's their right.
That's
That's their right.
right?
Is there a free speech right to sing whatever song they want to sing?
Right.
That's, you know.
However, he is
I do
definitely
think. Well, again, I cannot qualify whatever people should do or not do. I just say people have the right to sing their stuff, and we're in a society where we all possess rights, and we also deserve protection too against people overusing their rights. Because the same way you have right to talk, I have right not to hear you when you talk. So if I have to move away from you. And if the government realize that the talking and the things are affecting other people, they must kind of censor too. So government can censor it. Radios can censor. But people should not be told that they can't sing or do what they want to do.
everybody wants to hear Trilogy songs. Hear them, Jail, play. No, I tell you, you have to wait for it on the 9.
Jail, are you joking? Is you joking?
Scared.
No, I can be honest with you, Jail. I heard Trilogy's song, and all I can say is that but I don't know, see, because again I might appear to be giving him unfair
Your own
advantage.
bias, I come from.
Yeah, so let me not say, but I'm telling you, if the song I heard from Trilogy is the song he's going to sing, it is going to be it's going to be a moment at the finals. It is. I'm just saying so. It's going to be a moment. Yeah.
We're causing a lot of action in the comments. A lot of action. I mean, he's a newcomer, and I love when people are new because they come in and they come in. He's coming in amongst a lot of very strong contenders, and he's going to do his best. And I'm sure he'll have. I'm sure he'll be in the top 5.
Well, no, top 4 you need to be. The top 4 is what we normally refer to. So the top 4. Some people say he's a top 4 Kaisonian. Mm-hmm. So when you hear songs, you say, "Oh boy, that is going to be a top 4 Kaiso." So that is the lingo.
He's a top 4.
Yeah.
I can't tell you who's gonna be king because I don't see any song yet. I don't see the performance or feel it or vibe to I can't make that decision. But or that assumption that he will make it.
Yeah. You see like Webb, when Webb used to sing, you can call Webb a top 4 Calypsonian. He's chronically up there. Bob is a top 4 Calypsonian. Dice is a top 4 Calypsonian. JD is a top 4. This guy, the Diamond, he has a lot of potential. He has not always been in the top 4.
It's gonna be a tough show. It's gonna be a tough show.
This guy, it's not gonna be easy, man. It's not gonna be easy. Tasha P is a top 4 Calypsonian. Mm-hmm. So most of these people are top 4 Calypsonians. Mm-hmm. Who's gonna be the top 4?
Only 4 can be top 4.
You must have 4.
Only 4 can be top 4. Right.
That is the issue. But yes, Trilogy. I have to pay more attention to this young man. I used to watch him in the Bouillon, but I think I'm going to watch him closer now. I heard a song that he has.
Thriller on the mic. Is that daylight?
And if that's what he's coming with, there'll be a boycott.
Guys, thank you very much for joining us. Sorry to leave you guys hanging. It was a cliffhanger. Tune in next week Thursday. We might have more for you.
Probably will drop the song. You never know.
Maybe you never know.
So see you guys on Thursday.
See you guys next Thursday, the eve of Calypso Finals. Thanks again to all of you who tuned in. Thanks to our sponsors. Alex, peace and love.
Thank you. Always, man. You be well, Jael. Just always fun working with you, and I can't wait until next week Thursday. Okay?
Yeah.
Like I missed you all. I love you, you love me. We go conquer any storm. Let's jump. Now they all see the opportunity, and they're moving so confidently.